Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? Now it's Friday. Friday's request day, when you can request a map to be reviewed. Could be your own, could be one you've seen. You can get hold of me via Twitter or Facebook or in the comments below. Basically anywhere, it's all in the description, you can find me. Anyway, today's map is voted in by the BonBon buddies over on Patreon, and they've come up 57% of the votes. That surprised me because there was a lot of competition this week. And it's somebody we've reviewed fairly recently, back in episode 251. It's Mount Black by FSF Ranger, and back then it was a German sounding name, and I pronounce it badly. My German's not great. There's your start square, by the way. Yeah, my German isn't great, but they scored 4, 3 and 4 on that occasion. Let's see if they can do as well today. Resources, I like the look of those, by the way. That's very nice resource painting, very happy. What do we need? Well, if we scroll down the Steam page, scroll, oh, keep up, BonBon, keep up. Quite a few bits and bobs. There is a specific theme for this created by the creator himself, and also a specific LUT that's been suggested, which we've gone with as well. Dark Wilderness is the name of the theme, and also quite a lot of trees and stuff. Anyway, if we come down to street level, we'll have a look at the roads. Now, today's show I have messed up with the rail a bit, so have a quick glance at that rail over road. That's the best you're going to see of that, I'm afraid, and I am going to moan about it. But I'm not going to moan about this intersection. This is quite smooth, quite sleek. I quite like this. All the ramps are nice and gentle, and you've got a really lovely curvature to them. Possibly a little steep on the down ramp there, but it's arguable. It's arguable. Everything's quite pleasing. Now notice the highways there are single carriageway all the way. We're not going to go down that way. We will be having a look at one very similar. Bit of a tree clipping through there, needs trimming up. Yeah, we'll have a look at some single carriageways a little bit later on. No point going that way if we're going to look at it somewhere else. This bridge is quite nice as well. Bit of tree clipping there also. There's lots of bits of tree clipping and minor niggles throughout the map, if I'm honest with you. But nothing that's going to, well, in terms of those, that's going to make you want to not play the map because of like a stray tree here or there. You'll be okay with them. Other than that, you can tell that the roads are very high standard, and if you have a look around, the map is fairly aesthetic as well. If not beautiful, just interesting. And interesting is good. Now, this intersection looks a little bit naughty to me, if I'm honest with you, but we'll just ignore that, and we'll just have a look at the beauty of it. I do think that this bit at the top here might cause some traffic problems as things grow, because this intersection leads down, not here. If you follow it down, and we've got these single carriageways here, this will lead down to the start square, so everything's going to be rolling down these single carriageways. Is the single carriageway going to be enough to deal with the traffic? Well, only building the city will tell. I guess not, but maybe, it's arguable. And I just don't know, when they're closer together I quite like them. When they're just apart I feel they just feel a little bit isolated. It's an odd selection, I think, an odd choice. Ignore the blue ground, we'll look at that in a minute. And then here's your start square. I quite kind of like that little loop at the end. It's a good way to get you started. But like I say, single carriageway all the way down there. Yeah, is that going to be able to deal with the traffic? And is that intersection going to be able to deal with the traffic once it starts going? I don't know. And I'm going to rely on you to feedback on that one. I'm not going to get a chance to play this. I just don't have enough time to play all these maps. I wish I did. This intersection, once again, very nice and sleek. Very happy with all the bends in that. All the levels are good. It goes off into the fog in that direction. We're going to ignore the fog for now. We're going to come this way and go down another well, just another single carriageway highway. Like I say, it just seems a little like, once again, these roads, I would push, if you're going with single carriageway, I'd just push them a little bit closer together. To me, that's just a little bit isolated, those individual lanes. But I'm sure in your part of the world, you can go, but they're all like that, BonBon. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, you're right. I do not know what I'm talking about. Over a perfect little bridge there. I think we might stop at the next bridge and have a look at it. But that one was okay. But yeah, if you look at the terrain around, it's just, let's say, I wouldn't say it was a pretty map, but I would say it's a very interesting map. Quite nicely designed. I think the design of the map is like the main selling point. Those bridges aren't perfectly aligned. They're not perfect, but once again, they're both individually very nice bridges. And then if we follow this around here, going through the trees and stuff. Yes, I was apologising for the rail. We'll be looking at the rail in a minute, but I didn't set my recording up properly, and a big chunk of it we've missed. So unfortunately, we'll be skipping over a large, well, things that I would normally moan about, like, that's another nice little bridge there. Things I would normally moan about, like, yeah, rail over road is all good, so long as the ramps are smooth and tapered, and the ramps aren't smooth and tapered. Here's another. This is a nice bridge. This isn't perfectly aligned, but I've got no grumbles with this bridge at all. I think it works beautifully. Once again, single carriageways is possibly the only grumble at all with those. But anyway, yeah, with the rail, while I was doing the rail, I stumbled across this. This is weird. This looks like graffiti on the rocks. Now, I can only think this is crack texturing that looks like graffiti. I come across it. I don't find it anywhere else on the map looking like that. It's very, very strange indeed, and quite curious. But if we follow on up from here, we can head towards the start square. We won't see any of these rail over roads that I would be moaning about. But up towards the start square, which is just up here. And the rail kind of like just outside the start square, within shot, yeah? Pretty good. And on with the asset review. Now, this is German, and you're going to moan. And I'm sorry this isn't cinematics, this is me flying through by hand. I couldn't get the cinematics to do what I wanted to do on this one, but I'm sure you'll forgive me. It's Anhalter Bahnhof. Anhalter Bahnhof by Jens. Basically, Anhalter Anhalter I can't. You know, my English is gone as well. My Anhalter station is what I'm trying to say. But what I wanted to do with the cinematics was to come inside and have a look. Look at this beautiful station. The detailing on the inside is as good as the outside. There's a few things to subscribe to, and it's going to eat a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it's well worth it. That is beautiful. I've done a little bit of detailing, but not much. That is a very nice piece of work, Jens. Jens, you are a star. Right, and so on with the theme and LUT with the factoids. And today, this week's theme is Mossy Mountains by Mr. Miyagi with the Clara LUT. And we're factoiding away. Canada. Oh no, we've got some Canadians amongst us. Yeah, you get a shout out today. It has the longest coastline in the world. There we are. In France, April Fool's Day is known, obviously in French, as Fish Day. And there, I'm sure there's a very good reason for that. Any French watching, please tell us. Icelandic women don't change their names when they get married. And family members have different surnames, with boys' names following their father's name and girls following their mother's. That's curious. One last one. Trinidad has the world's largest asphalt lake and exports asphalt for surfacing roads all over the world. Do you know what? I really got to put my teeth back in. But yes, I didn't even know you mined asphalt until then. So anyway, that's it. That is today's theme and LUT. And let's head down, have a look at shipping routes. Now, I wasn't expecting to find a shipping route on this map. I really wasn't, because, you know, the rivers are really, really narrow. And we do have this shipping route that goes around the lake like this. See this? All the way around the lake. And where do the ships come from? This magical invisible spawning point. Why have we got a shipping route when there's no possibility for ships to teleport in? That's weird. Very strange. Very odd indeed, FSF Ranger. Water flow. There is a possible problem with water flow with this map. Yes, the water is moving down. This is the main river. I mean, the rest of it, all the other rivers are basically streams. And if we have a look at, where are we? Shall we have a look at, yeah, if we come down to the start square area here, you can see the water by the start square is virtually static. There's one or two tiny little arrows there you can find if you look hard enough. This is one of those streams I was telling you about. The water is flowing down here, but you can see how low the water flow is there. It's very, very low. So yeah, I would argue against using any of these. Certainly you're not going to be drawing water out of these. You might possibly pump sewage into them. There is a drainage point in the middle of the lake, so that wouldn't be a huge problem. But anyway, let's have a look at the terrain around the outside. Like I say, it's not beautiful, but it is very well done indeed. I'm happy with like the tree placement in general, and like the mountains look certainly rough and ragged enough. You're going to have trouble building into some of these mountains. There is some build plane within them, like here, where you can get in here and look at the blue texturing there. That is, I'm not going to say weird, that is really quite nice. I get the feel of the bluebells. It's very nice indeed. It's just something a bit different. What else have we got? We've got, if we come down, have a look at I've got the island in the middle of the lake. We've not looked at BonBon Island yet. BonBon Island has the essential lighthouse. Not quite big enough for me to settle down and move into, but still nice. Oh look, we've got more graffiti on the side of the rocks there. Very strange, that. Very, very strange. If you can explain that one, I'd love to hear. Right, what have we got down here? We've got some rock formations. The beaches are quite nice. The edge of the lake. Like I say, it's aesthetically, there's a lot to draw the eye on this map, and it's a shame. Like I say, the thing with the central lake is it's drawing away from build space in the middle of the 25 tiles. But there's plenty of build space around the outside. Obviously, we've got another one of these jetties down here as well. But there's plenty of room to build around the lake. I don't think I'd be building a mega city, but you could certainly do something very interesting. I would say, looking at the rail, the rail's very uppy downy, lumpy bumpy. There's that graffiti again. Yes, so the rail is not the best, if I'm honest with you, but everything else kind of holds up. Right, shall we mark this? Shall we mark this? I think we should. Right, aesthetically, like I say, not an attractive map, but interesting. Interesting to look at, interesting design, and for that I'm going to give it 4 stars. Detailing, I want to give it a 3, but the rail has annoyed me a little bit too much. There are things to sort out, and I think it's only worth a 2 at best. High 2, but there we are. Gameplay potential. There are issues with the map. There are possible problems with those roads being just the one lane and the intersections needing fixing. That said, I think a lot of you are going to enjoy playing this just because of the interesting terrain, so I'm going to give it 3 stars. So that's Mount Black by FSF Ranger. An interesting map. Very interesting indeed, and I'm really glad to see it. Loving the theme as well. Good work with the theme. Right, well, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Join me tomorrow for the last What Map of the week, and we'll have our quirky asset of the week as well. This is quite a nice one tomorrow as well. One that I think you'll be able to use, some of you. Right, that's it from me for today. Thank you. Thank all those guys on the screen for supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.